Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me this morning as we do stretch and pray. I'm going to be leading us through our exercises today, and we're going to start in just a moment. If you're joining us, we're going to be doing it inside this morning. I'm not going to be going outside like Ruth was yesterday, braving the weather, although it does look pretty nice outside. But we're going to be doing it, I'm going to be doing it inside this morning. We're going to be going through our stretches just to get ourselves woken up for the day as we pray this morning. And we've got loads of things that we can be praying for. So I'm going to be starting in just a moment. Some of our stretches we might be sitting down for, but there's always an option for you to do it standing up if you'd rather do it in that way. I'll probably be going from sitting down to standing up a few times. But yeah, thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to begin our first stretch just by rolling our ankles. And as we roll our ankles, I just want you to start giving thanks for today, because it is a wonderful new day that we have, and God blesses us with new days, and the weather is amazing. And although we might only be able to go outside once for our daily exercise, or maybe to go to the shops, I still think we have lots to be thankful for. So if you've got things that you're thankful for today, then yeah, just raise those up to God as we're doing our stretches this morning. Okay, we're going to move on to the other foot. Yeah, I just want you to think back over this week that we've just had as well, and give thanks for anything that's gone on this week that you can be thankful for. That could be things like getting in contact with members of your family that you haven't been able to see for a while, whether you've been able to connect using Zoom or any kind of video conferencing type thing. I've been able to connect with my family, did a quiz last week over Zoom, and that's been a lot of fun. And so yeah, I'm thankful for that. So anything you're thankful for this past week that's just happened, we're going to give thanks for that this morning. I'll go back to the other ankle and just go the other way. Perhaps you're thankful at this time in the morning if your house is quite quiet and peaceful. I don't know, your house might be a bit chaotic. Maybe your house is always peaceful, so maybe you're thankful for just being up, doing a little bit of exercise. Swap to your other foot, final one as we go the other direction. Okay, well next we're going to stretch our calf muscles. These are the muscles down the back of your leg. And as we stretch these muscles, we're just going to carry on giving thanks, but we're going to be giving thanks for the people around us in our lives. And we're going to think quite close first in our stretch. We're just going to push our heel into the ground, bend your front knee. All of your body's weight should be on your front knee, but you can push your back heel into the ground until you can feel the stretch. I'm just going to hold this for about 30 seconds. And as we do this, I just want you to pray for the people around us. So thinking first of the people who are near us, maybe we've got people we're living with in our house, and give thanks for those people. Perhaps the people we're going to give thanks for are just the people who do jobs around us that we maybe take for granted. Maybe for the bin men or the recycling men who come each week and take away our bins. Perhaps we just want to give thanks to the people who are cleaning our parks. I was in Eaton Park the other day having our daily walk, and we saw the bin men coming through and still clearing out the park and clearing all the bins, and I was just grateful that that's the kind of job that's still going on. Okay, we're going to swap to the other leg now, so it's going to change direction again. Bend your front knee, back leg's going to be straight, push your heel into the ground. If you're not feeling the stretch, then you can just move your front leg a bit further forwards and keep pushing that back heel into the ground. I'm just going to keep giving thanks. Now maybe give thanks for the NHS last night. We opened our door and we clapped, and there was loads of people on the street applauding the NHS, and I was just so grateful actually for everything that goes on. Sarah Imbush, who volunteers with the Sports Factory, she was expecting to finish her degree in medicine this year, and she's now been called in to go and do work at the NHS. And so, yeah, I'm thankful for her, but thankful for so many other students who are finishing and straight in at the deep end, perhaps, right now. So I'm thankful for her, but I wonder who else you're thankful for. And yeah, we're just going to give thanks for the NHS, for the people who are doing jobs, who are still going out, who are having to do work. I'm thankful for teachers who are still taking on kids from key NHS workers. Okay, excellent. Okay, for the next stretch, we're going to stretch our groin, which is a muscle just in here. But what I'm going to do is we're going to sit down for this stretch. And I would like you to put your feet together in front of you and your knees apart. Okay, so you should be in this position, and just going to put a little bit of weight on either side, so on each of your knees, to push them down. And when you push them down, you should start to feel a stretch in your groin. If you're not feeling the stretch, and just bring your feet a little bit closer to you as you do this stretch, as you push down on your knees. And just finally, still giving thanks as we do this third stretch. And I just want us to give thanks for the government and the people in authority who are making lots of big decisions. And I think it's really important that we give thanks for these people. There's so many occasions in the Bible where God has put people in authority for a reason. And right now, we should be giving thanks, whether it's someone we voted for or not, or someone who's in control who we disagree with. Right now, they are having to make lots of big decisions, and I'm sure that life is not very easy and must be very stressful. So we're going to give thanks for those people, and thanks for the decisions that they're making. So just raise people up who are making those kind of decisions. Thanks for the head teachers in the schools who are having to make tough decisions over Easter right now, and they're having to make decisions about how many kids can stay, what teachers are going to be working through Easter, what the school's going to look like for the summer term. There's some really difficult decisions that head teachers are having to make right now, so we want to give thanks for them as well. Okay, we're going to carry on stretching our groin. We're going to go back up again, and this time I just want you to put one leg out to the side, and on the other side you're going to stretch your legs wide, just beyond shoulder width, and you're going to lean onto one of your knees, and you should feel the stretch in your groin area here as you stretch. And we're just going to start to pray for a few things. So first of all, I just want you to start to pray for this weekend coming up. What things are you perhaps feeling anxious about? Are there things this weekend that you're looking forward to? Are there any people you know who I might struggle over the weekend? So we're just going to raise those people up in prayer. Just as we come back to the centre, we're going to go the other direction now. So you're going to put your weight on the other knee, and you feel the stretch on the other side in our groin. Yeah, we'll just think a bit further than the weekend now. Next week, do we have lots of work on next week? Is that something you want to pray for, to consider? Perhaps actually you're finding that because you're having to stay at home, that actually you're not got enough to do. So maybe you want to pray that God would just find you in that place. I know some people's jobs have become extra busy because of this. My cousin Sam, he works in the media department for the Church of England, and so lots of different departments have called on and asked him to do different things. So it becomes busier for some people than perhaps it usually is. Okay, I'm going to come back to the centre, and I'm going to come back down to the ground, and the next one I'm going to stretch, I'm just going to turn to the side to you. See, so I'm going to stretch one leg out in front, the other leg's going to be bent up to my body. I'm going to have my leg that's down, it's completely straight, and my toes pointing up to the ceiling, and I'm just going to stretch my hamstring here, it goes run all the way up, back of my leg, And I'm going to reach down to my toes, and I should feel the stretch in the back of my hamstring. And just as we're thinking of praying for people right now for the next 30 seconds, I'd like you to pray for the church, whether you're a member of St. Thomas, like I am, or a different church. I just want you to give thanks for the church. I want you to pray for the church as they're kind of facing different challenges. I'd love you just to pray for them as they face those different challenges. That perhaps they have the right people in place to tackle them. I know some of the challenges that they're facing are obviously how to turn church to an online outlet for people to tune in for, and for some people that's harder than others. And so I just pray that they would, they'd be able to do that in the right ways, in a way that can make it very accessible for people who are parts of their church. And we'll just change legs, so bend the one that was straight, and straighten your other leg. And again, you're just going to reach down to touch toes. Don't worry if you can't touch them. I know Ruth can when she does this stretch, but I can't get anywhere near mine. I'll just get as far as I can, till I can feel that stretch in the back of my hamstring. Yeah, and just whilst we're doing this, just pray for people who are in a pastoral position at church, who are still wanting to support people in need, support people who are in difficult situations, and just pray that they would be able to communicate with them well, to still build a sense of community around those people. People in pastoral positions would still be able to have amazing conversations and support the people who need it most. And just relax from that stretch. Stay on the ground, because in a moment we're going to stretch our back. But just as we're halfway through kind of stretching, we've stretched the big muscles in our lower body. We're going to start to stretch our back and our shoulders and our neck before we finish. I'm just going to share our thought halfway through today. And our thought just today comes from the book of James. And it says in the book of James, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. If any of you lacks in wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind." And I really like that passage in James, especially the first part where it just says, "Consider it pure joy, brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." What a line that is. Consider it joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. And I just want you to take a minute, as we do our next stretch, we're going to stretch our back, and we'll be lying down for this next stretch as we stretch our back. And all you're going to do is you're going to lie down. Let's do it a little bit of an angle because I haven't got that much room. Lie down, and what you're going to do is with your upper body's going to come one way, bend your knees, and they're going to go the other way. And you'll just gently lower your knees until you're in a position where you are stretching your back over here. If you're finding that you can stretch it a bit further, you can, when you've got your knees up, put one leg over the other as you lower it down on that side. And just think whilst you're lying there of the different challenges that you're facing, and how are you approaching those challenges. As we go to the other side, so again, legs are going to go down one way, body just turn the other way. relax. Oh. Okay, and we're next going to stretch our shoulder muscles. So I'm just going to ask you to put your arm in front. You can do this standing up or sitting down across your body. Just pull it close. You should just feel a stretch in your shoulder here. And yeah, those challenges that you just thought about, for me, I remember as we came inside, a big challenge for us is that most of the time the sports vet goes to schools and does lots of coaching, and the challenge was I had to now stay indoors and find a way of doing that. And one of the ways sports vet she's found is that to do these live videos. And I can't say that at the start that it was something that I approached with pure joy. But there are members of our teams who did, and I see the challenge as something actually where we have grown as a team. And yeah, I now give thanks to God for those challenges He's faced us with, because it's adapted our approach. And so one of the things I just prayed for to say to God was, thanks for these challenges. Thank you. I should have approached it with joy, because it's a challenge which will help us to grow in our faith. Just going to swap to the other arm. Again, pull it in. Should feel a stretch just here. And so one of the things it says in there is that when you do face these challenges, when you give thanks for them, when you approach them with joy, that you can gain in your faith, grow in your faith. And so I just want to pray now, I want you to pray now for more faith in God. That when more challenges come, that we'd approach them with joy and we'd see God at the end of it. We'd grow in our faith because of it. And relax your arm there. Okay, we're going to then just put your arm up in the air and down your back, and you can just pull your arm until you feel the stretch in the back of your arm and your tricep. It's going to hold this stretch here. And I just want us to take, whilst we do this next stretch, a time of just complete quiet as you just think about the things we've prayed for today. All the things we've been able to pray for and give thanks for, all the things that we've been able to pray for around us. Just take a moment to think about those things and then just offer them up to God. As we go to the other arm, offer them up to God. And one of the best things we can do is just to say, God, you're in control of this. And release our grip over things. And just be thankful for God being in control of all those situations that we've prayed about. Even the challenges that we face with pure joy, God is in control of those challenges. Last night I was reading in the end of Genesis, the story of Joseph, and when he eventually reveals himself to his brothers, they're fearful of him, but he says to them, actually, don't worry, because I've seen now that God put me here before you. Joseph was sold as a slave to Egypt by his brothers, but in his time in Egypt, he grew into a position where he was in control of all of the food in Egypt. And he says to his brothers, don't worry, it wasn't you that sent me to Egypt, it was God. God sent me here so that I could provide for my family. Bring our family to Egypt. And I love that, at the start of the story, Joseph is like us. He doesn't necessarily think that as he's facing these challenges that he's going to be able to approach them with joy, but actually he sees how God's worked in it at the end. And in whatever situation we're in, God is at work. And so we're just going to finish by stretching our neck. And first I'm going to ask you to just look down. And as you look down, you need to think about all those challenges we talked about. And then as you look up afterwards, I just want you to give thanks to God that He's in control of everything. So we're just going to look down. And bring it up to normal and look up. And come back to the middle. We're just going to look to my left and your left. back to middle, and look to your right. I'm just going to pray for us as we finish this morning. Thank you for tuning in to Stretch and Pray. Ruth will be back on Monday. And yeah, tune in for more time to stretch and pray. I'm just going to pray as I leave you. Yeah, God, thank you this morning that we can take this time just to refocus our minds for today. Thank you for all the things that are going on around us that we can be grateful for. And God, I just pray for everything that has been offered up to you this morning. All of the different challenges, all the different people. Just pray, God, that you would have your hand over everything, God. We thank you that you are in control. And when we look back, we can see the ways that you've been working in our lives. And God, I just pray that we would keep our eyes fixed on you. And that we would tackle all of these challenges with joy, God. Because we know that it can increase our faith and increase our relationship with you, God. I pray for everyone who's tuned in that they would have a wonderful day, God. And I just pray that you would bless each and every one of us. Amen. Thanks, everyone.